Pastor Nathan. How's it going?
It's gone.
We are sitting outside in the, I think they call it the Bell Tower courtyard.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
We're just here with a bunch of squirrels.
We are. We're trying to keep the squirrels from attacking as we sit here and chat. But it is beautiful outside, and so we thought, let's take advantage of it and move some offices outside to do some work. I think that's a good plan, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing this kind of online church thing for, what, a month now? Or is it about 4 weeks?
At least, maybe 5.
So how has your perspective of it changed in that time frame?
I feel like it's changed a lot, like just in the past, like even 2 or 3 weeks, because like I know when I got hired, like we first started the live stream and they were asking me to think about, visually and how does this look and think about the live stream and stuff. And I don't know, it was hard to see what they see at first. And then now that we're forced to only be online, I'm kind of starting to get it, because like we use some backing tracks with the worship team so that like it fills out the sound and we can have some cool instruments that maybe nobody plays, or we don't have that many musicians right now since we're doing the whole 10 people or less thing. So I go to Signal, the sound guy, on Sunday to start the backing track, and I realized as soon as I did like the thumbs up is the signal. I realized, wait a second, like what does that look like to online people?
Yeah.
There's some guy standing up there.
There
like,
you go.
What does that mean?
Hey, we're really happy around here, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, rehearse it without a signal or not.
We need to come up better with signals, huh?
Yeah, so there's stuff like that, like just figuring out, this is, I don't know, people are watching this online now, so thinking about that. But the bigger part, I think, is exploring, like, how do we engage this for them, like rather than just, hey, watch our service, like, well, we're all like a part of this church now, like, is there some way we can interact and connect with them? And what is the future? Is it Google Hangouts, a bunch of people getting online playing a game? And I was looking at playing Risk online. Like,
is that even a thing?
Can I play? Yes. There's this website you can play Risk for free, and I was like, well, can we like play a board game and talk theology, or like what do you think about God, or
I like it, a virtual game night online that we.
And Risk is perfect because it takes people like an hour to make one move. So the rest of you are usually just sitting there like watching and talking about other stuff. So I'm like, oh, these two things can fit together perfectly.
There you go.
So I don't know. There's just a lot of ideas. Like we've never had to do church online, and it seems to me like that's going to keep growing. We found from the survey, at least from the results we have so far, that like half of the young people or more want to stay on online church only. I'm like, well, okay, if that's the way that church is meaningful to them and they're involved, then maybe we need to do forward thinking, which is hard because you feel like you're in it alone, or you feel like some kind of dude out in the wilderness
strumming your guitar and
like trying to find you get your machete and you're trying to make a path.
I think we all kind of feel like that. We're all doing different things, and then we know it's not going to go back to normal, but we know we're going to come back, that we will have people back at the church. So then it's another shift that you do want to maintain what we've built, but yet going back and figuring out, okay, how do we juggle both then?
Right, it's a 2-in-1.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that's why it was hard for me to grasp the online church portion, like, a month or 2 months ago even, is because there's 200 something people in front of us.
Yeah.
They're right there.
You get an immediate reaction.
Yeah, you're not exactly getting the feedback from the online people, because we haven't figured out all those ways to interact yet.
Right.
And so you almost forget that they're there, but now they're like almost the majority.
Yeah.
So
at some point that'll change, but yeah, right now it's a strange time. So thinking ahead, in a couple weeks or a month, whatever it looks like when we kind of get back, what's that transition back to having maybe not a full band, but a band, and having people on stage. You know, I mean, I know lots of the musicians that we have will come back, but what in your head, obviously this is something that we'd like to see grow, and we aren't sure what it'll look like on the line, but what are your thoughts on integrating the back two and getting more people involved?
Yeah.
Big question.
Well, I guess there's two pieces to that. There's the band, and then there's the team that puts everything together for the service. With the band, I mean, with myself, I've got to start with, hey, like we're an online church and a physical church, so we've got to remember and help bring everybody together. When I'm speaking, I've got to be able to connect those people who are out in internet world,
Yeah.
you know, and be. Well, I'm not just speaking to the people in front of me. I've got to help the band kind of understand that. But then the tech team, I mean, we're going to need more people.
Yeah.
If the internet stuff is bigger now, we're asking Mark to do a lot on sound. I mean, he's sitting there. Part of the reason I made this signal so obvious was because he's sitting there trying to monitor the live stream. There's a 2-minute delay.
Ooh.
So when he changes the like let's say he's got to turn the guitar down. Let's say like guitar is way too loud, so he turns it down. He's got to wait 2 minutes to hear the change and see if it was enough.
If it worked.
In his headphones. So he's sitting there doing that. The song's ended, and I'm standing there
You're
like trying to get his attention. So like he's trying to juggle it's like trying to juggle a bunch of stuff and a chainsaw.
Right, exactly.
Because
No worries.
if you make a mistake, something bad happens. So
Bloodshed.
long term, it would be cool. We thought if we got an additional person to just monitor the live stream, and then Mark could be free to just worry about the mix in the room, because he's got to manage like 2 mixes.
Boards,
We'd like a third person upstairs with the video and the camera people to be like a producer, and Michael's doing that right now. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
But when things go back and people are back, ideally we'd still have that position. There's people who are building the backdrops to make the stage look themed with the sermon to kind of tie everything together. I mean, I don't know if they need more help with that or not, but I assume they would.
I think extra hands are always welcome, and ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of it too. I mean, just as you kind of, I think, struggle to come up with some ideas at times, I think we all do. I mean, that's how, we want to make all of what we're doing innovative and exciting and interesting, and make the adjustments to we're just online. So we've had to really kind of curtail what this is all they're seeing is in that little square box. So it's kind of been a challenge on that respect too.
Well, and then some of the new ideas that we're coming up with to try to connect with the virtual church and bring them content where like they can't attend the events here, because some of them aren't necessarily here in Wichita, or maybe they prefer to be online. Well, there's no Sunday school for them. What's the new version of that online? So there's this new stuff that needs to be created, and then that means like way more work for us. So it's like we need more help, and we need to find content creators and all kinds of stuff. So basically, anyone with a skill who wants to join this thing, it's like now there's something that's growing, and how do we get the team in place to
right.
make
And
that
I think
happen?
that's kind of the exciting part about what's going on here is that, I mean, God works in such mysterious ways with the coronavirus, and being able to watch how, so who thought that us not being able to meet for 4 weeks would be, I mean, it's not a great thing, but it's been a really good thing in a lot of ways for us, because we've had to stretch and grow and figure out other ways to get involved. So my hope is that people can understand that we are excited about what's happening here. And what are you looking for? I mean, like, we have all these jobs, and we'll get lists out of what we're kind of looking for, but who is your ideal volunteer? Like, what's a trait that, I mean, do they have to be perfectly skilled, or are you willing to work with the imperfect like us?
Yeah, we can train people, and nobody's probably going to. I mean, we're kind of like trying to half invent the wheel as we go.
we are.
So like
As we're driving, I
nobody
think.
has to feel. I'm exploring things myself. So like there's things that I feel stretched in, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
It's a good challenge. So no, we're just we're looking for some skills, but also just willingness. You wanna serve and help make this happen, and help us figure out what virtual and in-person church is
looks
and
like.
can be. Then we should talk. We should have a conversation.
Seriously, have a talk. So musicians, let's kind of run down. So musicians, technical, cameramen, audio video people, anybody who has any of those type of skills, creative people for videos, for social media even, I'm kind of looking for, of just people that can help us with some social medias. Kind of any and all, I think, is kind of what we're looking for. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have lots going on here. We're busy.
Yes, we are. Wouldn't you have thought that we'd be, not having as much to do right now?
Oh my
But we have
gosh.
like twice as much.
People keep asking me, "Aren't you bored?" And
Yeah.
I kind of laugh and I'm like, "Oh goodness."
I gotta go home and rest my brain.
Me too. Okay, well, I think we'll sit out here for a little bit longer, but thank you for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thank
Talk
you.
to you later.